Kelly Shaefer of Till the Dirt. Welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. Let me just ask you one thing. You already have a successful cold band on your hands. Why in the world would you need another project?
I didn't need one. It just kind of came about. Kind of came about organically. I just during COVID, it's just locked down, and I ended up writing a bunch of songs that didn't really fit into the orbit of Atheist. It was different, and so yeah, I tripped, fell, and landed into a brand new band and an album. So yeah, sometimes it happens that way, and I would never stand in the way of creativity. So here we are.
Yeah. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get a little bit more serious. The album is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What emotions were you trying to get out of your system with this music?
Uh, well, I mean, I think music is always a bit of an exhaust pipe for any musician. I mean, you're writing songs to kind of it's kind of cathartic. You kind of deal with whatever you're dealing with and get it all out of you. Some people are violent, and some people make music. So yeah, I mean, it's all I've ever done. It's all just making music. But I don't make music to try to do anything. You know what I mean? Especially on this album. This music just came about in a really short time, and I'm kind of still evaluating it myself, because it did come together so quickly, and I just kind of let it materialize. And like I said, one thing led to another, and here we are with a record. So, but I think it just encompasses all the things that I've always enjoyed. I love old '70s stoner rock kind of vibes, and I love old Seattle, and I love extreme music. So it's just a natural hybrid
Mhm.
of all those styles.
So the initial idea for Till the Dirt, when did this first originate with you?
After I had like 25 songs written in a 6-week period, I probably had about, I don't know, 10 of them done, and then just started sending around to friends and stuff, and was trying to figure out what it was, where it fit in, and should I do a solo record, put together a new band, and nobody likes to hear a solo record, so just once Scott Burns became involved, he really helped shape the whole thing and help guide me into the right way to go about just playing this music. So yeah, I mean, he played a large role in saying, hey, you should just put together a band, and this is the record. And I already had all the music done and written, so I just needed to find some really great players to play on the record with me, and then after that was done, put together the actual band, which is together now. Yeah.
Now it also includes you on guitar, which is kind of a big deal. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I haven't played guitar on a record since 1993, and yeah, I've always had a problem with my thumb, so playing live has kind of always been an issue. But yeah, I mean, I still play guitar every single day, and I write riffs constantly. So yeah, I mean, I had done all the guitar tracks, and I just when it came time to pull in other musicians, I wanted to just leave my guitar tracks on there as well. And so I mean, it just came together as, to me, I've always been playing guitar, but to anybody on the outside watching will be like, oh, playing guitar. So it's that's what I did first before singing, was play guitar. So it's nice to be able to do both on this record. I won't be doing that live, but it was fun to play on the record.
Who is in this project with you at this?
Currently, three of the guys from Atheist. Dylan Marks is Jerry Watunsky. I'm trying to. Did you meet them on the last tour?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. So Dylan, Jerry, and Yoav, all three are playing in the live version of this, and then Ian Way from Surreption will be he's the other guitar player, and myself.
Why the name Till the Dirt? What does that mean to you?
Till I die, till the end. I'll be making music till the dirt. Contrary to some people, kind of, I guess, are confused by they think it means some kind of a farming situation, but no, it's just a saying that I've always had that I'll love metal till the dirt. I'll be playing music till the dirt, and so that's it.
Yeah. So what are those songs about?
It's a wide range of topics, from dreams to personal, you know, um, there's a song called "Watch You Grow Old," which is a song about being an old, I'm 55. I have a 6-year-old son, and just the idea of wanting to watch him grow old, is something that I don't know that I'll get that opportunity to do. So, so I kind of address that in a song, and a little bit of everything, I mean, a little less, a little different than I would have to be able to write lyrics for Atheist.
Mhm.
So I have a little more room to there's no precedent, so I could write about whatever I wanted to write about without feeling like it needs to be some in some kind of atmosphere. So it's kind of a little more personal lyrically than I would normally um, take on with like Atheist or something like that. So
Um,
yeah.
Also, I strongly feel it's probably your most vocal album that you've done. Tell me about your vocal delivery here.
There's a lot of different voices, and again, I never got to experiment a lot within Atheist vocally. And I had another band called Neurotica in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, and where I got to sing, the way I like to sing, and so this is just a combination of the two. Feeling again like I don't, the templates for the songs don't have to be anything. I would never put clean vocals into the Atheist material at all. So
Mhm.
this was a great opportunity for me to showcase different sides of my vocal abilities, and as long as it's keeping it heavy and crazy and interesting. And so I just found a lot of room in these songs to be able to do some different stuff vocal wise. When I say clean vocals, I mean anybody that hasn't heard the album, it's not like whispery clean. It's like smoking for 30 years clean.
And speaking of that, how do you transition between different voices that you utilize on this album?
um Man, it's you just some of it's I definitely carved out some difficulty for myself in the album because it really goes from one extreme to another. So it's not something I can explain. It's just kind of a feel. It's being on stage and playing live is like being possessed. So I'm a really different person on stage than I am off stage, and so you just kind of you get into that mindset. And it's just like a receiver in football catching a football while he's running down the road and running down the field, trying not to get his head taken off. You ask him how he does that, and he's like, I don't know, I just do it. And so you just kind of, again, it's all I've ever done. And there's always been a little element of clean and, um, in my other band, Neurotic, I had a lot of clean transitions from clean to screamy. So I kind of got used to what I need to do to get from one place to another.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really challenging album. You definitely did not take an easy way out here.
No, so we'll see. And also, in a live setting, I've got, a couple of guys in the band that have great voices. So, when there's an overlapping section,
Mhm.
we'll be able to work that out. And Jerry Watunsky, my guitar player, has a very similar higher sort of register. And then Yoav has a great set of lows. And so between the three of us, we should be able to cover all the vocal bases. I can't wait to play it live and looking forward to it.
Great. You already mentioned Scott Burns. How did you get Scott Burns to produce the album, and how did you even persuade him? He hasn't really done much lately.
Hasn't done anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
in 25 years. We were just reconnecting on the phone after 20 years of not talking to each other, and as friends, just kind of catching each other up. And it was at the very time that I was kind of writing all this material, and so at the end of the conversation, I was like, "Hey, I wrote some new stuff, and can I send it over?" And he was like, "Yeah, but he's like a very honest, brutally honest guy, so he was a little apprehensive about listening to it because he didn't want to hurt my feelings and say, "Oh, Kelly, sorry, man, this shit sucks." So then when he heard it, he was really, really excited, and that got me excited. And yeah, he just really kind of rolled up his sleeves and dug in with me. And helped me on, really producing. He didn't engineer or mix this album. It was mixed by Ryan Vincent and at Apollo Audio Alt in Missouri. And so Scott really just played this role of helping me arrange songs, helping pick the right songs, telling me which parts are better, which performances were good, and then that's kind of a real producer's role in a way, that I became accustomed to working with like Kevin Shirley and Brian Johnson and people like that in Neurotica. So, having him involved was just reassurance on a level that I couldn't have anticipated. He's just a great guy, and he's just an old and dear friend, and his ears are magical. And he just knows what's up. And plus, his level of honesty is something I really, really seek in my career these days. There's just a lot of bullshit, and a lot of people are afraid to tell you the truth. And I like to surround myself with truth tellers. And he's definitely one.
Now, did the album turn out the way you heard it in your head?
I never heard it in my head.
Well, when you wrote the songs, like, did you envision like how you wanted it to sound, or?
In retrospect, I wish I would have had, a lot of money to record it. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because this is the kind of thing with a lot of records today. They're just so much, everything is perfect and digitally, fixed and enhanced. And, all the vocals that I did on this album are all probably 95% of them are one take. The same day I wrote the song, I, put the vocals on, or the next day. So very, very spontaneous, and not a lot of time to critique. And but the overall sound, yeah, it's very raw and disturbing and way different than anything I've ever put out, I think. And I love that. I love the element of that. It's not something you would expect to hear out of a typical 55-year-old man.
When you see and hear the record now, how would you describe it to someone who never heard this band?
If I guess I would just say, like if Alice in Chains was an extreme metal band, or something like that. I mean, it's not even that much Alice in Chains. It's just that I don't know how I'd describe it. It's so many. It's a journey. I mean, there really are a lot of different emotions and feelings and vibes on this record. And everybody maybe says that about their music, but I mean, it really is kind of all over the place in a good way, though, in a refreshing way to me, anyway. I mean, it may take people a little while to kind of swallow it, but I'm used to that in my career, for people not to kind of get my music right away. Anytime you try to do something different, or you end up doing something different, it takes people a long time to get it. So I found so far, people are reacting to it either really great or really not great, which is a good thing. I mean, that kind of reactionary polarization is kind of where you want to be as a musician. You want to be loved and hated, musically, that is.
Right. I'm gonna get personal with the music right now. The music on Outside the Spiral has a weird way of affecting my concentration. Like, it destroys focus and brings in chaos into my mind. Was that intentional or coincidental?
No, it was not only intentional. I also had the same feeling when I heard it. Again, like, each one of these songs were written in a night, and I would wake up the next morning and listen to them, because I was demoing them and recording them myself. All the guitars and bass and drums and everything. So I would wake up the next day and listen to it and just be like, holy shit, this sounds so angry and so disturbing and puzzling and vicious, and just on a different level than anything I've ever done before. So yeah, I feel the same way when I listen to it. I feel very third person to it. I listen to it almost like somebody else listens to it. As a matter of fact, I was telling somebody else in another interview that I'm so third person to it that I'm having a hard time remembering the lyrics, because I didn't, normally when you write a record, you go and you write the songs and you go and you rehearse them and maybe even go out and play them live, and then you take them in the studio and record them. Well, by that time, they're kind of woven into your soul. These songs didn't go that way. I just wrote it, and then I'd move on to the next song and on to the next song, all the way into 25 songs. So I had to, I had to kind of go back and relearn what it was I did. I didn't spend, an enormous amount of time on each song. I just really wanted to capture these individual nights of, confusion, because that was what was going on while I was writing it. It was just a very politically charged time, very, unsure with COVID, what the music industry, what will I have a career? Will I live through COVID? I mean, being a longtime smoker, there's a lot of emotions that weren't typically in my wheelhouse for songwriting. And so I really wanted to write as many songs as I could in that mindset, because I didn't know if I'd be able to get back to that mindset again. And because it's not every day you have a pandemic and you're stuck at home and full of uncertainty. So those kinds of things, your surroundings always reflect in your music and your art, I think. And so that was a very unique period in time, as you know, and I think it reflects in the music.
Now, you just heard my response to the music. How are other people responding to it now that the album is out and available and people can get it?
Really, the people that are getting it right away are just really seeing it as an evolutionary step. I mean, people can only go so fast and only so heavy and only so many breakdowns, and you know what I mean. And so at some point, it's nice to have something different. Whether people like this record or not, it's different, and it's something that really hasn't kind of been done this way. So for better for worse, I as an artist really just, that's all I ever want to do, is just make something that isn't the same as everything else, or isn't following a particular trend or a suit or whatever. It's really honest and organic, and it came together that way. And I'm super proud of the fact that it did, without any outside interference or influence at all, and just completely a product of that situation of being locked down in COVID. And it's like if you trap a musician in a room with recording capabilities and leave them in there for a couple of months with some Jägermeister and some weed, this is what happens.
Oh, it's a very unique record, very unique record. Now, usually new projects by established performers are always being judged against their previous work. So how similar or different is Till the Dirt to anything you've done previously?
It's night and day, I think. I mean, in many ways, it's unlike any Atheist record, and it's unlike any other band that I've been a part of. Yeah, it is hard. People don't, people get used to hearing you. I think that's one of the biggest early confusions is people are like, okay, the guy from Atheist has a new album, so it's probably going to sound like Atheist. And then they hear it and they're like, oh, it doesn't sound like Atheist at all. And but at the same time, it has, a level of aggression that people are familiar with Atheist. It just doesn't have the technicality of it. I mean, not that it's easy music to play, but it's not, it's more written from a songwriting standpoint, while keeping all the vicious elements and the interesting things involved. And so, it can be hard. Yeah. I mean, it's hard for people to accept somebody they're used to hearing in a particular setting in a different one. And so that's a challenge that I was ready for. And so far, I mean, I'd say, 80% of the people are totally getting it and understanding it, and saying a lot of really, really nice things. So it's nice to see it finally come out. I've been sitting on it for 2 years. So it's nice to finally get the feedback and see it hit the way that I hoped it would hit,
Mhm.
with people really recognizing the quality of songwriting and the quality of how different it is to everything that's out there right now.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you want to play live. So are there any plans for the Till the Dirt shows, possibility of a tour?
I hope so. And I'm definitely the hook's in the water. It's such a brand new band that I think it's just a matter of people sort of catching on to the record, and I think that opportunity will come up next year. I think we're doing well, we're definitely doing a couple of Atheist tours next year. So somewhere in between that, all of that, I hope to do a Till the Dirt run. We'll probably do like one or two California shows first, just to kind of
Mhm.
see how it is, and then and set up a tour after that and see how it goes. But I really look forward to seeing these songs in a live setting. I think they're really going to come to life in a bigger way than even they do on the record. So here's to hoping.
Yeah.
Everybody go buy the record, and then we'll be able to go on tour. That's the deal.
True. Do you foresee another Till the Dirt record?
It's already written. Yeah, I mean, I've already got, like I said, when I say I wrote 25 songs, I mean, they were all, with the exception of 3 of them, all good enough to be on the record. It was just really a matter of picking the 11. Scott really played a huge role in that as well. Just picking the 11 that we thought, the world should hear first.
Mhm.
But yeah, as soon as the dust settles, another one's sitting there ready to go. And we know have a little more money to deal with at this time. And, but I still want to keep it, I still want to keep it raw. And it's very hard to make records with flaws and mistakes these days. I mean, everybody fixes everything. And, I left a lot of performances on this record that guitar wise and stuff that weren't perfect for a reason.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because when you go to see a band live, you're never going to get perfection. You're always going to have these flaws, and that's kind of the charm of it. I mean, the human quality of it. People, I think, will learn to appreciate that in the years to come while they're listening to AI music.
Mhm.
They're going to want to hear the human flaw, and there's lots of them on this record, and I love that. Just slightly out of tune guitars. Vocals that are dissonant and aggressive, and so just all those things. Lend themselves to happy accidents, as I say, when you're recording. And I kind of left all those things, left all the, those first take vocals that I did on there because I didn't want to redo them and, and try to I just really needed that energy from when I was first feeling that song and writing that song. So, yeah, well, I think we'll definitely, I guess it depends on everybody else, but as far as I'm concerned, hell yeah, we're doing another record.
Way to go, man. I can't wait. Finally, now that it's officially out, what did you get out of it personally?
What do you mean?
Like, as a whole experience, how do you look back now that it's completed?
God, I feel like the luckiest fucking guy in the world, especially in my, at this point in my career. It's not every day you get to sign in your mid 50s, a new global record deal for a brand new band. You know what I mean? And so I feel super lucky and super fortunate to be able to do it on this level and do it, and have a different canvas to paint on. That allows me to sort of ride off into the sunset doing all the things I want to do musically. Between Atheist and Till the Dirt, I'll be able to do anything I want to do musically. There's nothing keeping me, there are some limitations with Atheist only because I want them to be there because I have so much respect for the catalog. And I wouldn't want to change the formula of Atheist, by adding in these kinds of clean vocals and stuff like that. I think I know exactly what Atheist should be. And that's important to note as well. As I move forward, people are going to be like, well, is the new Atheist going to sound like Till the Dirt? Fuck no. It's not going to sound anything like that. I know the difference between the two bands. And, there's a lot of difference in the tuning of the guitars to the mindset. So, anybody worried about that, they don't have to worry about that. But what do you get out of it? It's an impossible currency of good feelings of being able to write songs and being able to write them and record them and put them out and have the world hear them is just a fucking blessing. I have so many friends and bands that have been working so hard for so many years only to never really kind of get out of their hometown. So on that level I just feel super lucky to still be for people to still want to hear what I have to say.
Great. Kelly, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me.
Always
and
a pleasure.
good luck on the
Thank
new
you
album.
so much. And always thanks for the support. You've always been really, really supportive. And, we've met on a couple of occasions and you're a good dude. I appreciate you very much. So thank you.
Till Chicago.
All right. Yeah, Reggie.
Reggie, or anything else?
I'll see you next year, Reggie's, my friend, for sure. Are you going to Maryland Death Fest?
Probably not, but I might be going to some of the other things. We'll see.
We're playing the pre-fest with Autumn.
Never seen that.
What's that? You never been? Oh, have you ever been to Maryland Death Fest?
No, I never have.
Ooh, it's a good one, and it's in the States. It's one of the best American festivals, if not the best one. But we're playing the pre-fest with Sodom. It's a sold out show already. That's going to be really good. So we'll see everybody out there for that, and hopefully see everybody in Europe in the early spring. And I'll see you at Reggie's sometime next year.
Definitely.
All right, Mark. Have a wonderful night, my friend.
You too.